Hello everyone and welcome to the best world gen for Minecraft. I'm gonna go through a couple of the options that you could possibly go down. Make sure to subscribe, by the way, because there might be a couple update videos, especially due to one massive mod, in particular the one that we're dealing with right now. This is JJThunder To The Max. This is combined with Biomes of Plenty, Regions Unexplored. It is a insane mod because of the fact that it just generates real world mountains, realistic mountains in terms of the height and depth and all that stuff. This is essentially how real a mountain could possibly be within Minecraft. And to give you an idea how crazy this is, I'm at Y1000. The mountains can go up to Y2000. So you can kind of understand, like, this is an insane terrain generation. I'm not going to be using this mod for too long because one massive issue that you might notice with this mod is that performance-wise, it sucks. Now, I'm not talking about actual in-game walking around performance. When it comes to the actual rendering of the chunks, for example, if I were to explore some of the areas around here, it would take a long time for them to load if I haven't loaded them up with Chunky. And even then, it takes a long time to load because I actually use Chunky for this. And you can even see off in the distance, some chunks just don't load in. And this was 1,000 by 1,000 radius. Overall, really amazing mod. And I don't want to slight it in any regard because it's just insane what you can do with JJThunder. But if you have a high performance computer, a high performance server even, you could possibly be able to run this thing and it would be an insane creation. But for now, we're going to look to other methods to get our amazing terrain generation. And there are a lot of options to go through. So let's get right into it. A couple of other interesting mods that help with terrain generation. There is this one mod called Biome Sizes. You can shorten the biome sizes and now allow for some interesting formations. There are a lot of small little biomes here that are all like clumped up together. And if you make it a very small enough size, they can actually be like just straight trees of many different biomes all in one area. The downside of that, of course, is that with the small biomes, there's going to be smaller areas that actually reside within like one specific climate or biome change. So that's more of like an experimental thing that if you really like the look of that, then you can rock with it. But otherwise, you're going to be left with a lot of small biomes that are not going to be very useful in terms of actual gameplay experience. You also might be noticing the cloud formation above us. So there is a mod that allows for interesting looking clouds, which basically allow for localized weathers. One thing I noticed with this, a big downside is that these weathers formations, they last a long time. They last super long. This mod is only available for Forge right now, so that's another downside to this mod. All right, so throughout some more mod combinations, which you're gonna see the combination that I used on the screen right now, I made caves a little bit more interesting. This is what happens when you mix a lot of noise related cave generations into one mod pack. All of them collide together and they create a lot of these like weird noise things, right? Like this weird cave noise generation where it almost feels like the entire place has just been absolutely culled out. Right here, we have Regions Unexplored Biome. Then you also have like these weird like pathways of water and lava. Very cool. Definitely not normal. I also added another combination of two mods, which actually improves the terrain generation all on its own. But I decided to add in Tectonic as well because I just love the way that it looks with distant horizons. And then of course you see off in the distance all the biomes you've gone. So basically this is made through Nature Spirit and Lithosphere, in which it will actually add in more unique design choices for certain areas. For example, instead of pure stone, this is actually white chalk, and some beaches will be more flattened out and like laid out so that it looks like a normal beach. This isn't a perfect example, but it's a pretty good example. And then of course Tectonic, one of the benefits of it is that you can have like little water tunnels right through, so that's pretty cool. And overall, just the sheer combination of all the mods I'm showing you is just what is leading to the result that you're seeing here, which is just an absolutely insane terrain generation. If only that would load in to show you more of it. I also added in a mod known as Bigger Trees, and it gives you a slight increase to the height of some vanilla and also just general trees. It will be more like an overhanging forest rather than like the basic Minecraft trees, where it's kind of just like you're met face first with the tree. So like basically this kind of fixes the issue of having a bunch of these trees and having more taller trees that you can actually go underneath as the player to have a more like scenic view in that kind of sense. Another really important mod to make a lot of this really possible is terrain slabs. And it might seem like a very light mod, and in a way it kind of is. However, you notice how like smooth the terrain is? That's just reinforced by the fact that there's slabs, which basically makes it very similar to that of Re-Terraforged, where it has like this nice slope to it. And it just looks absolutely insane when you compare the fact that it just completes the entire world. Take a look at this view. This is one of the best combinations for world generation, and it isn't too straining on your system. Of course, I'm saying that as I'm running very low frames, but that's just because I'm having a lot of settings at a very high point. But it's just an amazing terrain generation. And I'm going to show you a couple more shots of really cool terrain generation with the combination of mods that I have, which is basically all the mods that I mentioned within this portion of the video. You can kind of tell from the massive overarching terrain behind me that we've kind of created a pretty solid terrain. There's also structures that we need to factor in, and the terrain, while it could be overhauled even more, changes here and there. Problem with that is eventually it gets to a point where it's a little bit too much. The world is perfect as it is right now. We don't want to add in too many things because that would lower our performance drastically. But you can always add in a couple of side mods here and there to make the biomes even more vibrant than they already are. So over in the ocean, we actually have a couple of structures around this area. First off, the pirate ship, which yeah, this is supposed to be a lot smoother, trust me when I say this. It's just for some reason the skeleton entities are a little bit buggy right now. But these are pirate ships in the sea based on the Valkyrien ship mod. And it is an amazing mod to add alongside Valkyrien ships. And some of these pirate ships even follow you. I believe that they actually made that update recently. So you can actually have these guys follow you and attack you, and you also have cannons to add to your ships as well. So it's an overall really cool adjustment to like the existing Valkyrien ship mod in adding in other entities and all that stuff that can give you some danger, along with following you with their own Valkyrien ship. We also have a lot of young structures. This is the Young's ocean monuments, and my goodness, it is crazy. I mean, if you just take a look at this area, it's just an insane rework to the previous design of the ocean monument. I mean, it just looks incredible, and it is just an overall amazing design by Young. And there's a lot more structures that are very similar to this one, in which I included repurposed structures along with the Young's better structure compatibility. So you can kind of see some crazy things with these two mods combined. The repurposed structures takes existing Minecraft structures and repurposes them for other different areas and locations, while the Young structures overhauls them. Two mods coming together to form absolutely insane builds within your world. There's also a bunch of the Moog structures, which adds in a bunch of different structures here and there, from the sky to the water, depending on if you install those mods. I installed a few of them just to see how they look. They look pretty good, but I wanted to show you guys how they look in game, and they're pretty freaking cool. And also we have these driftwood villages, which are amazing villages that you can find on water, And they're pretty cool to find, especially given the fact that we already have the pirates, and that assumes that we have Valkyrien ships. So just exploring the entire world like that is just an amazing way of visiting some of these cool structures. And you can definitely add in a bunch more structures and stuff that would make your world a lot better. Those are some of the ones that I added as per choice based on like the overall scenery of them. A lot of them are very scenic. The Moog's ones in particular is very, very scenic because it adds in a lot of those islands and all that stuff. The more useful ones are the Youngs and the repurposed structures. Those are the two most important ones that you should consider adding. There is one other thing that I would like to point out, and that is just like the general Nether and End generation. So we'll cover those briefly. I didn't do too much for them because the main focus was the overall generation, which I think we have a pretty good world generation overall. But anyways, let's go visit the Nether and the End, and I'll show you what I did there. Welcome to the Nether. My goodness, is it changed. So you have a lot of different mods that affected the overall generation of the Nether, but to put it simply, there are a lot of amplified stuff within here that is just because of the amplified Nether. You also have a lot of the biomes from Biomes of Plenty. I believe all the biomes you've gone, and also maybe regions unexplored have added some things to the Nether. And you also have better Nether because this is on Fabric. So you have better Nether, and my goodness, better Nether really makes it look very, very pretty. That's where all of the colorful stuff that you see behind me is coming from. Better Nether really makes it nice and pretty for the entire, like, just Nether, really. Just the entire Nether is so pretty with all the, like, the different colors and stuff from here. We also have some structures from Moog's Nether structures, and there's just a lot of different things within the Nether that is just really, really amazing. And it's only a few mods that affected the Nether, but it's just only a few mods that you need to really make the Nether look absolutely stunning. Oh, right, and I also forgot to mention that repurposed structures also affects the Nether. There are some repurposed structures within the Nether, but some of them are a little harder to find than others. You're going to have to search a little bit long and far to find some of these structures, as they are very, very difficult to find at times. And before we go on to the End, here's an example of what the fortress looks like. The fortress is basically overhauled through, I believe, once again, it's another Young's mod. So I think it's a really great overhaul for the entire structure, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. And in the End, we have better End along with a few other mods, such as the Nullscape mod. And we also have another one, an Eldritch End mod. I completely forgot the name, but you should probably see on the screen. And it's just a lot more mods to make the End look very, very pretty. In reality, you probably only need better End, but just adding in like the other mods to add on top of it is just a really pretty combination. There are a lot of world generation mods out there, and I implore you to go explore your own world generation options for what you're looking for. There is one in particular that actually has multiple different presets on how you want to like change your world and such, and this is mostly seen within BM Exosphere, where it clearly has like a very unique terrain generation that a lot of people enjoy. So that mod helps a lot with terrain generation. But if you like what you see here, I'll put some of the more important mods down below in the description that would make this entire thing look really, really cool. But majority of the mods you probably need to search for yourself, as there were a lot of mods used in order to make this possible. So really look for a lot of the minor small mods that would really smoothen out and make your entire game look very, very pretty. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, like button, subscribe and subscribe, and remember to be a top and beat up us guys next video. Take care and good.